I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Minutes of the previous meeting.
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any additions or corrections? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Bills, with additional bills on the desk. Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the bills. Again, any discussion or questions on that?
Again, I got something to approve later.
Okay. Okay. Any more questions? Roll call, please.
Brown,
Aye.
Fritz,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Lightfoot.
Aye. Motion carries. Financial reports. Andy, anything interesting?
No,
I'm sorry, it looks like
everything looks
pretty
good. Everything looks really good.
Okay. Questions on that? Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve the financials. Second.
Okay, motion and second to approve the financials. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Treasurer's checks.
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, motion and second to approve treasurer's checks. Further discussion or questions on that? Seeing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You okay? You want me to do that?
No, it's maybe we should roll call.
Oh, you want a roll call? There's a big one? Fine.
You know,
That's fine. Roll call, please.
Fritz,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Lightfoot.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Agenda, anything to add?
I'd like to add those two things that I passed out earlier, the NDCC, resolutions for 2020, and then the joint board water stewardship award nomination.
Okay. As long as everyone's glad, I don't have a problem. Anything else? Okay, seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve as amended.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Close same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Sarah, good morning.
Hi, good morning,
Welcome.
everybody. As you can see, I brought a few new faces to be with you. Actually, from our office, I brought Cindy, and then see Bill back there. It is 4-H week, so we are pretty excited. We've got a lot of fun activities going on. But first of all, I wanted to introduce you to Dina Kemet. She is our Central District Director. She has been on for 4 months. 4 months now. So just I'll let her introduce herself and.
Okay, can I take my mask off? Let's see. Okay. Thanks for letting us have a couple minutes on your agenda. I came today with a message of thank you. As you're aware, in the previous biennium, when NDSU Extension was in a budget crunch, your Association of County Commission kind of agreed to a different base policy that helped us get through that difficult time. So I like to meet County Commission and extend a thank you and say, just so that you're aware, that in 2019, you did vote to revert back to our old base policy. The base policy, just so you're clear, is our partnership with our extension agents is we pay 50% of their salary, you pay 50% of their salary, and NDSU Extension covers their fringe benefits to the tune of about $22,000. So when you were covering, when we adjusted the base policy, we put everything together and then we split it 60-40. You pay 60, you pay 40, you're probably familiar with that. With your staff, I would imagine that you carried an extra $10,000 at least for those 2 years. And so we really appreciate that support, and we're happy now that in 2019, we went back to the 50-50 and benefits. So I have copies of those minutes in case any of you are newly elected and weren't part of the group that was here to make the adjustment. But that's basically my message today. I have business cards. If ever you have questions about anything that's going on at NDSU Extension, I would like you to feel free to contact me. I work out of Bismarck, but I've been here a couple of different times, so I'd like to get to Ramsey County.
Good.
Thank you.
You.
We also brought with us one of our 4-H ambassadors, Abby Dahl. She is a senior at Devils Lake High School, and being a 4-H ambassador is pretty prestigious. You have to go through rigorous amount of, and I mean, she is one out of just a handful out of the state. So we are really excited to have Abby. We also have another ambassador, Nora Lane. And we are going to be highlighting them today on our Facebook page, so check that out. But she's going to give you a little, talk a little bit about 4-H and being an ambassador.
I've been in 4-H since I was in 2nd grade, and I am now a senior. Ambassador program, we go around the state helping out with different events like, some do animal events, some do project events. I recently have helped out with a new 4-H group that has just started with little kids. I help them with the project. We'll send them out with the parents. But our job really is to just go around the state and help out as much as we can. We are required 5 departments every year, and I can be an ambassador until I am 21, I believe. So I have quite a few years left. And it is, as Sarah said, it is 4-H week, and I think
Thank you for the work you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, she's amazing. She helped us a bunch with achievement days this year, and we just really appreciated all the help. And we're excited to utilize her throughout the year. But just a little bit more about 4-H week. If you haven't already, like our social media, Facebook page. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat even. So we're going to be highlighting our ambassadors today, and we're going to be highlighting our leaders throughout the week. We have amazing 4-H leaders. They do this on their own. They are so great. So check all that. Today we're going to have a little contest on Facebook, your favorite 4-H memory. So if you have a 4-H background, let us know your favorite 4-H memory, and we're just going to pick a handful for some prizes. We've got a lot of prizes going on too. We've got trivia, and we're just trying to, do a little bit different. We in the past we probably do some face-to-face things with our kids, but unfortunately that's not happening this year. But we're just trying to do something different just to engage everybody. Listen to the radio. We have some 5th graders do some PFAs. They did a great job learning how to do the communication, use their communication skills. So is there anything else that you wanted to add?
We're just really excited, and we appreciate all the support that you give to 4-H and Extension throughout the year.
Yeah, 4-H is booming. We've got more 4-Hers than ever.
I've accepted 165 on our 4-H online, that's 4-H leaders and members. So we're going strong in Ramsey County, and a lot is due to the part that you support us. So thank you.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
I guess I can't speak for everyone, but to me, talking about funding and everything that 4-H is doing through Extension, I guess to me, extension's probably a deal at twice the price with all the things that extension does for us. And obviously, I probably utilize extension just as much as anybody since I farm, but you know, watching all the things going on the Facebook page and all the different things going on with 4-H, it's just a fantastic program. So we appreciate everyone coming in. And Bill was raising his hand.
All
So.
right, sure.
Yep, go ahead.
On the bad side of things, we discussed flakerage and roundup yesterday, and at this point, I think it's going to be postponed for 2021. We're gonna try to do some other little things in each county or something like that, but the actual flakerage and extension roundup itself will not happen come January because of the COVID uptick across the country. And we hate to be responsible for spreading more than what we need. Okay, we are not very happy about this, but I think it's probably in our best interest to do that. Unless you got other ideas. Okay, thank you.
If we can make you zoom it out, maybe, huh?
For me,
We can make you zoom it out.
yeah, everybody is getting zoomed out.
That's very good. Very good point. All right, very good. Well, it is what it is. You had to make a decision, so. Okay, very good. Thank you, everyone, for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thanks for all the hard work.
Yeah,
You have great agents, I hope you know that.
we do know that.
We do.
So, let's see, what time is it? Almost quarter after, so we don't have conference call till 8:30, 9 o'clock budget hearing, we'll skip down. Kevin, you get it on 15 minutes, maybe?
Yeah, well, I'll start.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, the updates on our project, Ramsey County 9 up there, we did get the spot gravel done. So that's all completed. Truck route, they put some more gravel on that. I think they've ordered the base one material, so it's in the works. It still maybe needs a little bit more smoothing out, and I talked to them about that. So I don't know if anybody's been out there to look at it, but it's improved since our last meeting.
I do. We close the bid up? No. Have they closed the bid up?
No.
Road satisfactory? I haven't been out there.
No, it's not done yet.
I drove it the other night. I mean, it was not horrible, but it wasn't what it was when we had it in good shape.
It's much, much better. But they still don't have the base one incorporated into the new gravel. That's about all they got.
Is that gonna be enough?
I think so, yeah.
But the pit's still open.
No, I saw they put the dirt back on a pit, so that's closed up too.
It's over.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye. If you get a chance driving, if there's something you don't like give me a call and they'll help us fix it. Any more questions about that orange spot gravel? And we got the guardrail, or the contractor got the guardrail all put up on North Township Bridge. That looks really nice too. So any questions on our project?
Are they gonna get that truck route done before snow flies?
That's the plan, yeah.
There's a lot of trucks on it right now, I noticed, so.
Actually, in the next couple of weeks, depending on when that chemical or that product shows up. All right, skipping down to all our invoices, we need motions. Calvin got all our chips delivered, and that invoice was $51,768.63. Just like a motion to pay for those chips.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion to second to pay Galvin for chips for the project next year. Further discussion? Seeing none, roll call please.
Britt,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Lightfon.
Aye, motion carries.
And Custom Contract Solutions is the contractor that put up the guardrail on that Morris Township Bridge, and their invoice was the exact same price as their quote, so that's $19,322.24. Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion is second to pay for the guardrail project. Further discussion, questions? Seeing none, roll call please.
Brown,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Brett,
Aye.
Lightfon.
Aye, motion carries.
And we got our cutting edges from Butler, so they were $12,090.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion is second. Further discussion or questions? I was just thinking, I had one question. I passed one of the blades on the way into town. Do they put like some type of a protector on there so it doesn't, does it have like a blue cross-check thing on it?
Blue.
Yeah, it looked like a plastic thing or something that protect the cutting edge or something.
Oh, the cutting edges we use now are blue. They've got.
They are.
Yeah, they're only like 4 feet long, so they can flip them and rotate them from side to side and middle to side.
Oh, really?
So they wear more evenly and it keeps a straighter edge.
I thought it just looked different than the cutting edges we had before, and I was like, oh, what's that going on there? Interesting.
And we started using those last year. They're blue now. And in the winter time, we go back to the normal one.
Okay. Further questions? Roll call please.
Olson,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Brett,
Aye.
Lightfon.
Aye, motion carries.
Husky Energy filled our road tank, our road oil tank. That's a typo on there. That should be 7,000. That 4 should be a dollar sign. So it should be $7,840.56. That's a lot better.
I thought that's gotta be either a really big tank, this is really expensive oil, move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the oil. Further discussion? Seeing none, roll call please.
Brett,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Lightfon.
Aye, motion carries.
And the last one, we got some motor grader tires, Recraft. They were $1,000.51 each. We had 4 of them. They've been working out great for us, so we'll try it again this time. A total of $4,206.08. Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion is second to pay for the recaps. Further discussion, questions? Seeing none, roll call please.
Brown,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Brett,
Aye.
Lightfon.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay, then again this year, the DOT is asking for railroad crossing improvements. And none of our ones that we submitted last year got approved, so I just resubmitted the same 3 for this year. Just more of a heads up than anything to let you guys know. And there were the 3 sites are the Ramsey house and line just east of Bartlett. The one by Southam, which is the line isn't used quite as much there, but still kind of a blind spot. And then the one north of the rest area on a township road.
I know they're 90-10 cost shares, right?
So, yeah, now you got.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That'd be nice if they approve it. Yeah. Need a motion to approve that?
One question on that one at south of that's really blind spot coming from the north. It's like, what can be done there?
Hopefully they'll decide to put it's a blacktop road too, so it's, federal aid route. It should be one that should be easily approved.
You can't hardly see till you get to the length of the road coming from the north.
Right. South of
I mean,
that,
it's-
the north is bad.
And I know the trains don't go very fast there, but wow, it's.
And this, we put in for cross arms and flashing lights.
Will the railroad do anything on that one themselves?
You mean lately or?
Would they do something? Would we talk to them?
Well, it might not hurt to put a plug in for it. That Jim Steyer, the guy that I submitted these to, he's probably got a little more pull than the railroad. The railroad is kind of doing what Jim says, put it that way, or Jim suggests. So he would be the one to try and get to, I would say.
That was really, really rough. I mean,
It is.
we're coming from the north. Like, I don't know, if it's the length of the room.
Right,
You
it's
can
not
see
much.
that, yeah.
Between
Trees
the-
there, and hump there.
The city and the trees,
I don't think there's more than one or two trains a week, is there?
no, I doubt it. Just that one train, you know. You know, I'll email Jim again, telling him that we'd really like to see that done. See what happens.
Is there anything we can do ourselves here? Take some of that hump down or some of these trees down? They're on private property.
Yeah, the trees are all private property, so. As far as the blind spots, we couldn't do much about that, they're all off our right of way. The hump, I don't know if the hump is that much of a blind spot or whatever, but. Is that hump further
It's on the
north?
west side of the road, west side of the road, north side of the track.
North side, yeah, right.
Come from the north. It's, I didn't realize it was that bad. Until the other night when I was riding. And I guess I was looking around and it's like, oh, so you didn't see a train. You get it. They don't go fast, I know that, but.
You know, I don't know, we can put signs up, but, you know,
I think we should do that.
there's a round railroad sign and a crossbar, but that's all it's there.
Well, if we put a sign up that just said bad crossing, would that kind of alarm the railroad a little bit? We think it's that bad a crossing, dangerous crossing, what do you wanna put on it?
Yeah.
You should look at that, Kevin.
Look for trains, or, yeah, I'll think about that. Probably getting a hold of Jim would probably do about as much good as anything. That should have actually been picked last year when we submitted it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know, like you said, there's not much train traffic, but it takes a while.
Blind spot. I'll think about that.
Okay.
Any more discussion on train, railroad improvements? The stream crossing analysis on 8C between David Lorenz and Steve Swanson, that came back. They recommended another 60-inch arch culvert. The water board hasn't had a chance to act on that yet. It's that new information, but I did order the culvert just to get it coming. It's still gonna take till October 30th to get delivery. So, but we might get it in yet this fall, we might not, type of thing, depending on the weather. They had to make that one in Huron. So it's gonna take a while to get it. And that's gonna cost $14,231.74 just for the culvert. Probably should have a motion to go ahead and order that, it's already ordered, but, I mean, I need to get it ordered in order to get it coming sooner.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion is second, to order the culvert, further discussion. Okay, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign.
And I did talk to the water board about, they're gonna do what they need to do at their next meeting, take care of the issue. It's approve it or whatever.
So 8C, that's pavement, correct? We'll have to rip
It is
open,
pavement.
we'll have to rip open pavement and everything, huh?
The one that's under there now is all rusted out, so they're, you know, in my mind, I think there's a void under there where the old one is, so it's probably a good thing to do it something there.
We do what we gotta do.
Want to keep going, or
How long did it take to dial in?
we can skip down to the federal aid, county federal aid program sheet. There really isn't any changes to be made to that. Until probably next year. I can fill in the estimated cost, that's about the only correction I see there. Our project's pretty much set for now. So we just need a motion to go ahead and sign that, and the chairman will sign that.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second to approve signing of the federal aid program sheet. No changes. Further discussion.
The state's gonna be having meetings on those too, right? The state's gonna be having 2 meetings on those, or?
Yeah, the state is setting up meetings. I didn't get that letter, to be honest, but the state is setting up Zoom meetings for the talk to the commission, right?
Oh, okay. But what we usually do down at the Association of Counties, we're gonna do that.
This is what we talk about every year when we go to the convention, so that's probably a lot of what the Zoom meeting will be about. Yeah, no changes. Okay, further discussion on the motion. Seeing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Vote same sign. Motion carries. And then not on the agenda, but also we have every year we sign this, maintenance certification that we are maintaining our federal aid projects. So we got that in the mail also, we need to get that signed, and the state's attorney, auditor, chairman, and myself need to sign that agreement. And it's something we do every year, so we need a motion to have that signed. Give it a second.
Second.
Motion and a second to sign the certification sheet for maintenance. Further discussion. Seeing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we'll come back to the load pass in a little bit. Okay. Okay, it's 8:30, so we have our district health conference call, finalized budgets.
The conference administrator has joined the conference. There are 2 attendees on the conference call.
It's easier to come.
Guys, it's probably some up here, otherwise they're not gonna be able to hear.
All right, very good, thank you. Yep.
Otherwise they're gonna have a problem.
Well, the first order of business is usually call it the joint Board of County Commissioners to order. And see who's on the phone.
Hi, Colin.
Can you hear us here?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear Al when he speaks up? We'll let Al speak up here.
Can you hear me when I'm talking?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, do we have all 3 counties in there? Eddie? Anybody from Eddie County?
Yeah.
Okay,
All 3 of us are here.
all right, Benson? Benson County? Okay, how about Pierce?
Yes.
Pierce is there. Should we wait a few minutes, see if Benson shows up there?
We'll have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Good choice.
Benson County's not there yet? Excuse me? Oh, it's a different time zone.
Oh, okay. There we go. Let's see. I can give him a call and see what the deal is.
There's a big, Benson County's here, okay.
All right, very good. Okay, now that we have everybody, the first order of business is election of a chairman for the joint board of county commissioners. Anybody want to nominate somebody? Anybody?
Who's doing it now?
Well, this is just a joint, this day only is what this is for. Each joint board meeting has a new chairman,
I'll nominate Adam.
I second that.
Okay, any other nominations? Okay, nomination cease, you wanna, everybody in favor of that? Adam,
Ed made the motion.
okay,
Okay, is everybody there? Yep, Benson's here. We have a nomination for myself, Adam Lipon, to serve as the chair of the meeting. We have further nominations, I guess. Okay, I think nominations have ceased. All in favor of Adam Lipon to serve as the chair, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, both same sign. Okay, motion carries and I'll serve as chair, I guess. Okay, so next order of business, I guess, is roll call of county, so we have to go through every individual commissioner, correct?
yes, that's correct.
Andy, who's got the roll? You got the roll over there, or
Hang on,
it's
I'll,
in my package here?
it should be in the packet, but if it isn't, I have one right here.
Okay, so these are the actors.
Yeah, those should be the people.
Okay, so we'll start with, I'll start with Benson County. Doris Griffin. Here. Okay, Mike Steffen. Here. Lowell Higginson. Yeah, I'm gonna say.
Okay, those are last year's, maybe.
Yeah, David Davidson. Here. Ron Carlson. Okay, you got one more, correct?
Statham.
Isn't it Ron Statham, correct? He's there.
Okay.
Okay, we had the wrong list, I apologize.
My fault.
Okay, Pierce County, Mike Christensen. Yes. Mike Brosart.
Has that changed?
Has that changed? No. No, just not there. Oh, he's here, okay, didn't hear you, apologize. Ashley Berg.
Yes.
Terry Hopper.
Yes.
Dave Migler.
Yes.
Okay, very good, thank you. Eddie County, Glenda Collier.
Here.
Neil Rude.
Here.
Dave Gertz.
Here.
Okay, very good, thank you. Ramsey County, Adam Lipon, I'm here. Ed Brown.
Here.
Mark Olson.
Here.
Jeff Frith.
Here.
And Lucas Wakefield is absent, he's ill today. Okay. Now that we've done roll call.
Okay.
Okay, back to the original page. Okay, minutes of the 2019 meeting. I believe everyone probably should have a packet with the minutes. What would we like to do with them? Additions, corrections, motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes from Mark Wilson and Ramsey County. Do we have a second?
I'll second, let's call your name.
Okay, second from Glenda and Eddie. Do we have any additions or corrections to the minutes? Or discussion?
Mr. Tony, you have Bull Wilkerson on, and he hasn't been a commissioner here for a couple of years, so it would be, Rob Scott would be in his place.
Okay,
Benson County side.
okay, thank you. We'll make that correction. Okay, further additions or corrections? Okay, hearing none, all in favor of approval of the minutes, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries and the minutes are approved. Thank you. Okay, on to the 2021 budgets, and we'll let Al.
Okay, I visited all your counties and addressed a lot of your questions. And we had some changes to the budget itself, some minor changes. It didn't really affect the mill levy, so it is the same as when it was in your hearing. Has anybody got any questions about the budget?
Okay, Ellen, I do. Terry Helford.
Yes, yes.
Hey, Ellen, we adjusted the payroll, right, because of the fact that the wages weren't figured right?
Okay, a slight change was there, but what you're talking about, that market study didn't really have an effect on the payroll because it's not coming out of that amount of money is not coming out of the mill levy. So that's why there was very little change there.
Oh, how did that work? I mean, I wasn't at that meeting, and I was sorry I couldn't be, but.
Okay. Yeah.
So if it changed even $20,000, where did that money come from? Out of our budget?
Yeah, we changed it. We added, we used carryover money to cover that. That's where that came from. And we discussed that at the board meeting, and that's basically why it was passed. But there were some errors in that document. They were all corrected. And if there's more talk about the market study, that will be done at the board. That doesn't go into effect until January 1st. So basically what we're here to discuss today is just the budget at hand.
I know, but I guess I don't understand, and I guess I don't understand how, if Mike would have pushed that issue about that being on a line, it would have went through.
Well, yes and no. We still have another meeting, and we would have had time to look at that. There were some corrections made to that market study. It didn't really affect our budget. As I said, we used carryover money to take care of that market study. So it didn't have an effect on our 2021 budget. So if there's more discussion on the market study, we will do that at the next board meeting. On October, 20, I don't have my calendar in front of me. The last Tuesday in October. Okay?
Okay, so then, what you want us to pass this budget that you got now?
That's correct. That's the only thing on the agenda.
Are we gonna change it then if we have to?
No, it's already been changed, all right? The market study,
Afterwards.
the market study will not affect the budget, period. Okay, any other questions?
I don't know what we have a budget for, because sounds like you got your mind made up.
I do the budget, so yes, and I came to all the counties. The budget had some minor changes after visiting with each of your county commissions. Those are on this page, those changes. The market study, what you're worried about, will not change this budget whatsoever. No matter what we do to it on October 28th or 27th, whichever that Tuesday is. So that can come up at our health board meeting. That is not part of this budget, okay? That is not part of this budget. I don't know what else to tell you. It's not part of the budget. We will go forward, either pass the budget that is in front of you. Okay.
You know, if we took that money out of past budget or whatever.
Yeah,
Luckily, the district or county or state or whatever, if you had money left over, that should have affected the mill levies drawn for the following year.
It,
pay salaries.
it did. It does. So that's why we got a whole even budget here. It's the same as last year, the exact same amount, that we asked for last year. And the only reason for that, how we would be able to do that, was carryover from previous year. And, that's how we did that.
So in other words, you're saying instead of our mill levy having to go up, we stayed the same because we had that carryover.
That is
Separate
true.
wages.
That's exactly correct, Terry.
Right.
All right. Anybody else have any questions on the budget?
I'll make a motion to approve the budget for 2021, what is already going.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second to approve the budget?
Who made the motion?
Glenda Collier from Eddy County. Okay, do we have a second? Okay, Mike Steffen from Benson County with the second. Further discussion on the motion. Okay, I'll ask one more time, further discussion on the motion, since we're on the phone here. Okay, hearing none, we will go to a roll call vote. I have my roll call in front of me. Okay. All right, we'll start again with Benson County. Doris Griffin.
Aye.
Mike Steffen. Ron Statham. Davey Davidson. Ron Carlson. I didn't hear you there, Ron. Yes? Okay, very good, thank you. Pierce County, Mike Christensen. Mike Brossart. Ashley Berg. Terry Hoffert. Terry? No, okay, thank you. Dave Migler. Dave? No, okay, very good, thank you. Eddy County, Glenda Collier.
Yes.
Neil Rude.
Yes.
Dave Gertz.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Ramsey County, Ed Brown.
Yes.
Mark Olson.
Yes.
Jeff Frith.
Yes.
And Adam Lightbon, I'll vote yea as well. Motion carries and passes. The budget is approved. Okay, I guess the only other thing on the agenda then is to adjourn.
Thank you very much.
Do we need a motion to adjourn?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll just say we're adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Okay. Okay, we got enough time. We'll jump back into the county highway department. Load pass?
OPAS, okay, they have a few questions about, permits that they allow. Cross permits is first on the list. There's two different types. This one will allow 1 more ton per axle up to 105.5. You want to act on these or decide on these each as they go, or? I guess this one, I would suggest that we don't approve these type of cross permits. Later on down the line, there's a wintertime permit that allows 10% over, which we've done in the past, so.
When is the frost permit used then? In certain time frames or?
Yep, it's at, same time frame as the other one, which is between December 1st and March 7th.
Okay, I get what you're saying. So instead of being 1 ton over, then we're just saying 10% over.
Right.
So basically 1 ton over on an axle would be 1, 2, 3, 4, So that's like, it'd be over 10% then. It'd be
Oh,
like
yeah.
getting what, okay, so we'd be limiting it more than. And that the state does a 10% on the harvest, correct? So we'd be matching the state instead. And the frost permit would be something different than the state's doing, so it'd be kind of confusing to people then, back and forth.
Right.
Wanted to double, get my mind wrapped around here.
How do we kill load pass then if we're not involved in that first?
When they just put it on there, I mean, they don't allow
Yeah, they just don't put it on the app thing
On
or
their-
whatever.
on their sign-up sheet or their registration permit sheets.
Yeah, should we go one by one, or should we approve it as a whole here, I guess? Let's go one by one. Is anybody interested in putting using the frost permits, I guess? Okay. On the harvest permits then.
Harvest permits are allowed 10% over the legal limit when harvesting to the first point of storage, which I think, I don't know if we've done that in the past or not, but I've never seen tickets to that effect. And if we do decide to do that, well, I guess I don't see any problem with that either. I think we've allowed it in the past, but never actually motion or whatever. The fees, we need to establish the fees if we want to allow that.
Okay. What's the state charge for it?
$50.
$50? Makes sense to match the state, or?
Yep.
Yeah. Sounds fair.
We've had that in the past.
Yeah.
Oh, I think all we've ever done is we've just approved allowing the state permits, we just haven't charged locally. Now we're just gonna be saying it's an extra $50 to go on the county system basically.
Right. So we'll get some revenue out of it.
Yeah, which is, okay.
The wintertime permit is one that we have allowed in the past through a motion. It allows 10% legal limits between December 1st and March 7th, and that's a $50 fee per 30 days. So that's a little different there, but. And I think the reason for that 30-day thing is, people don't haul for the whole 6 months or 4 months, whatever that time period is, 5 months. So, they do it for a 30-day fee period.
So it's $50 every 30 days.
You know,
In the past, we've done, the states just did $50 for the year, right? I mean, for the winter,
yeah, $50 per winter, yeah. With those December 1st to March 7th dates. That's the way the state does it also. With those dates.
If we go along with this, do we have to go along with their fee schedule?
No, we can start.
We can set our own fee schedule.
So we could do, thinking out loud here, we could do just $50 for the whole.
season.
I like a seasonal pass just because it's simple. You go and you buy it once. Even if we do decide to make it a little more expensive even, it makes more sense just to do it once and you're done for the season.
It's still the same as what we did.
Right, that's all. In the past, it was just a one-time fee also.
Okay, so we'll do $50 one time for harvest and $50 one time for winter.
Yep.
Okay, sounds good to me.
And the last one is the annual overwood permit, which makes sense to me too. It's anything 8 foot 6 inches over that for the whole year, it's $150. Anything over 12 feet would be another permit, of course. And that one makes perfect sense to me too.
Anything over 12, they just want to make sure that you know what's happening so you can clear it and make sure you don't have a problem, in other words.
Right, a lot of times the state will require a pilot car or something.
Yeah.
So it's a little different situation.
Okay, any questions, discussion on that whole slate of things, I guess?
Move to approve.
Second. Okay, so we have a motion to approve allowing harvest permits at 10% over for $50. Wintertime permits at 10% over for $50 one-time fee for that time period, and then the annual overwood permit of $150. So I can make sure we got everything squared away then. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Both same sign.
Right.
Carries, very good. When do these take effect? Pretty much immediately, we're gonna,
First of January.
first of January is when we're gonna go on those tests.
Yeah, they'll start issuing all of our permits.
I had the question the other day from somebody, since we made, and I'd have to go back and look, but we made the motion to allow the 10% overs. Did that count for harvest permits as well, or just winter permits?
That was just what
That was just winters,
the
okay.
motion we made.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, but I didn't go back and dig because I've been so doggone busy, but yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, okay.
We've never taken it to anybody or anything for the harvest permit, but we never actually had a motion or anything either. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, well, I can give them an answer then. I like the answer, but I give them the answer. Okay, anything else, Kevin?
Yeah, just a heads up, the Rapid City Convention has been canceled this year. And then one other thing, I've been nominated, affirmed to the National Transportation Policy Steering Committee. I think Nate would need the recommendation or the nomination, but just so you're aware that I am on that National Transportation Committee now.
So,
Most of our meetings are online. I think there's one meeting a year that's travel. That's it. Congratulations.
yeah,
Hey,
good
job well done.
Congratulations.
That's all I have.
Kevin, do we need anything, motions made for bale removal or mowing ditches or
We did the mowing ditches.
did the mowing ditches previously?
Okay, but we did not do the bales. So it's up to you to,
Is that something that we wanna take up, that bales are removed from road ditches or road right of ways by a certain period of time?
I think the state is
Is it November 1st?
November 1st or 7th. Yeah, the first week in November.
Is that something we wanna take on as a,
Um,
put a notice in the paper, or is that something that's just kinda
I think
assumed?
I think it's kind of assumed because it's usually not a problem. If the guy went to the hassle of making the hay, they're usually out there making sure he gets in.
Exactly, you know?
No fun to hear about, so.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no.
I mean, you'll get the stray one occasionally that somebody missed it. But most
In
of
the
the time
past,
they
we
get
used to
taken
do
care of.
that, but we quit about 3-4 years ago, just because of the expense of putting it in the paper.
Right, yeah.
There's been a lot of progress I've seen made in the last few weeks now too, since, or at least the last week, soybeans are starting to slow down a little lot. Things are getting home.
Let's keep our expenses down.
Okay, very good.
Thanks, Kevin.
Kevin, appreciate it. Okay. What do we got here? 5 minutes. Back down. Let's go down to new business, since we only have 5 minutes until we have to do the final budget hearing. North Dakota State Fair delegate appointment. Anybody interested in going to the meeting? Jeff was our appointee last year.
And I can't remember if it was weather or illness or why I didn't go last year, but,
When is the meeting again?
19th of November. And I'd be willing to do it again if.
Sounds like we got a volunteer. Anybody want to make that motion again?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we're gonna appoint Jack to be the state fair delegate. Do we have a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second to appoint Commissioner Crittenden for the state fair delegate from Ramsey County. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. Thanks, Jeff, for taking that. Okay, raffle permits.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion and second to approve the raffle permits. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. appraisal values on the sheet in front of you. So we have to set the appraisal values and then the hearing date of next meeting at 5:45 p.m.
Motion to approve.
Second. We have a motion and a second to approve the appraised values as presented, as well as set a hearing for 10/20/20 at 5:45 p.m. Further discussion on the motion.
Property that is listed with no value on it, that will be taken care of today.
The one other thing I was wondering was, we had the one that was the one where we tore the house down, and we've kind of slowly been inching the number down to try to get somebody to be interested in it. Is that something we want to keep at 10,000, or do we want to try to entice somebody to buy it, or do we think 10,000 is a good price? I don't think 10,000 for a lot of towns is that price. I just remember we talked about that in the past. That's all that anybody's curious.
What do we need to do to lower the value? Just
Decide we want to lower the value. I mean, we can make it $1 technically if we wanted to, but we've always been of the opinion, I thought we wanted to get some of the value on the house we tore down back out, but it's been sitting there for how many years now? So obviously $10,000 probably isn't doing it. Maybe we have to do a better job of, maybe we need to advertise it or something. Say, hey, here's a lot. I don't know, I just figured out.
I make motions to cut it in half. I mean,
If
you're gonna buy a lot, everybody seems to be buying in the roundhouse edition and all the new additions. This is gonna be a hard sell in the middle of the city.
Yeah, who made the motion originally to approve the values? You did, didn't you? Would you like to make that part of your original?
Yes.
Okay. Who seconded? Jeff, would that be okay with you to second it at that level? Okay, so we have a motion to second to approve the values, and also with the change of that 10 going down to 5. Try to retain it. Okay. Further discussion. Seeing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries and the values have been set. Okay, very good. And it appears as though it's 9 o'clock, so we'll go back up to final budget hearing. Okay, I got that over here. Back there again. Okay. So, where we're at now in terms of the final budget, we did the preliminary approvals. Our total budget is 10.867, $494,090. Of that, local tax revenue is $5,795,434, which equates to 90.81 mils from the county level, which currently stands at an increase of total dollars at $239,331, which is a 3.81% increase, while actually being a slight decrease in mills because of a valuation increase in the mill. At our last hearing, in the prelim hearing, we discussed taking some of those CARES Act dollars that the Sheriff's Department had, or we received for payroll for the Sheriff's Department, and maybe offsetting some of that 239 to try to, equal out and try to get a little bit of a property tax break. Any thoughts? We had some time to think about it since the last meeting on what level we would like to keep or how we would like to proceed, or does anybody, I guess, from the public have a comment that is here about the budget? Or is anybody from the general public right here? I remember at the previous hearing, we said, I believe Carrie said that we had some money coming back in a grant. So that was like 40,000. You said we had some money that we over budgeted simply because we didn't know what the health insurance was going to come in. What did that account to again?
It's 14,500.
Okay, so that's 54,000 then. Everybody else's budget was in pretty good shape. I guess, we had we figured 375,000 probably, give or take, was gonna be the CARES Act dollars. We had 267 at this point, plus 2 more months.
I haven't gotten an update if any more money has been approved to pay those next 2 months.
Well, I think that was the intent. We just haven't seen it. We haven't seen it.
I haven't seen an email.
And that was the intent of whoever's carrying, I think it's the emergency commission, whoever that oversees that.
Are we gonna need money for those, that siren project for the sheriff's department?
Law enforcement's moving forward with it, I know that.
I know, yeah.
Are we gonna do a similar cost share type structure that we've done on the other projects in the past there, or what are we doing? Okay.
It would be good if we could use a little bit of this money for
Something like that.
something like that, and because that's gonna be one of those unfunded mandates from the
Yeah,
state.
360, I think is the figure.
So any idea what we're gonna be on the hook for on that?
Probably 100.
I'd say probably a little more than that.
It wouldn't hurt at all to put 100 of this money we got from CARES to that project.
That's reasonable.
I think that was all right with the commission. I would strongly encourage that much. We're, reality, the law enforcement center is kind of behind everybody else in the state on this siren. We drug our feet in signing up there a couple of years. Things are looking a lot better out there right now. Wow.
Well, assuming that the siren project will cost us, say, what, 200,000 might be a number to throw out there, just for a round number. If we get the siren or the CARES Act dollars back on top of what we've received already, that'll be at about $370,000 total then. You take the 239 minus the 54, that puts us at about 180,000. So 180 minus 370 minus 180 is about 190,000. So that covers pretty close to what the Siren Act dollars would be. So I guess, and this is just my thought process. It's kind of expanding about in my head anyway. As we take $180,000, we reduce our budget by that 180, and then, or we reduce our budget by the 239. Excuse me. So we're zeroed out, and then at that point, that would be taking the money out from the 40,000, the 14,000, and it would still leave us about $190,000, $200,000 left over from the CARES Act that would be sitting there to use for the siren project. That way, everybody gets a little bit of a tax break. We stay even, stay steady, and we have some money left over to work on that project. Or if the sheriff's department has something, particular maybe that needs to be done, we'll still have money sitting there for it.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
Need that as a motion?
I guess, yeah. We have to have a motion to approve the final budget, so at whatever level we're gonna approve it at. So I guess the motion would be to approve the budget as presented minus the 239,331, and then we can do the other stuff. That's all machinations in the office, making sure things go where they're supposed to go.
I'll just take those dollars out of the general fund since that's where a majority of the funding would come from.
Right.
Anyway, so then I don't have to
Yeah, and
mess with
our projected general fund is looking fine. So there's really no reason that we have to try to build the general, and we can just set that money aside and use it for what we're gonna be intending to use it for.
And that way I'm just dealing with one account instead of a little bit here, a little bit there. Yeah.
Kevin, anything you should cover over there?
Not for 21, 22 is gonna be. No, I don't think so. Not for 21. 2021.
Doing all right.
Right.
22, you have to look at that for the paving project on the bridge.
22 will be a whole other story.
You wanna deal with 22 when it gets here then, or what? don't know if CARES money's gonna be around, but
You know, it's a good question because I don't know where the prairie dog, we don't know stimulus money, I mean.
legislative session, you know, coming in January, we all know that, but, you know, hopefully they can sort things out there and come up with some of it.
That's why
That's my hope.
I think we could deal with it in 22 or this time next year, yeah. Be okay.
And what we start receiving money again from federal aid projects in 22, correct?
Yeah.
Because we used the $21, we pulled them back to this year. 2022, we'll get our allotment again.
We could start borrowing ahead then, we actually won't get any money. We did borrow.
For some of your, well, it surprised me that there was a bit, unless that just hasn't come out yet.
I was kind of confused
We
by the,
borrowed 3 years ahead or something, didn't we?
I thought we only borrowed a year ahead.
That was for the bridge project though, and that's a whole other pot of money, so.
Right, but I mean, the regular federal aid at the top of there.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that, yeah, you're right.
What's that say then?
Oh, yeah, well, you're right, we're still, behind. Or, yeah, we borrowed ahead about 28,000. After, 2021, we're still negative.
That's a projection after 2021?
Yeah, 2021's estimated allotment is 228,916, and the estimated total after that is negative 200,916.
Okay. So 2022's allotment is gonna go back to pay that too then.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll still be, we'll have 28,000 of 22 money in 22.
Get what you're
So
saying.
that would be it, yeah. They'd have to, yeah, right, you'd be able to borrow that then again.
But we'll be able to borrow ahead again. So,
Yeah, and we're talking,
That's for the paving job.
yeah, and then we're talking though, we can build. We talked about the possibility of pushing the paving job to 23. So then, because the road's in pretty good shape, then we have 2 years to build up the funding. So we could take that, whatever it's gonna cost $1 million or whatever, we can build 500 each year then in the budget for 22 and 23, and then we'll have enough to pay for the paving project.
plus the gopher, or the prairie dog money and.
Plus,
stimulus
if
money.
there's some stimulus money out there. But, I mean, we still have to come with the premise that we're gonna have to pay for it locally. I mean, because that's where you always have to start from, because you never know.
A little less than half of it, yeah.
Yeah, you never know where the dollars are gonna come from.
To run it through the federal aid program, if we want to have it at over half federal aid, so that the state makes the payments to the contractor.
So then, to do that, you'd almost have to borrow ahead then, just to keep the federal aid dollars there then.
Right, and the state didn't use, or the counties didn't use all the federal aid dollars last year,
I saw that in the note, what it is.
so it'd be a good idea to continue to borrow ahead, because they're not, construction's not gonna get any cheaper. We want to keep those dollars in North Dakota. Okay.
I found it interesting that there's money left on the table. Like, we never have a lack of projects, we're always thinking 2, 3, 4, 5 years ahead. I found it interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't like that in every county. Baffling.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I mean, if we want to stay where we're at on budget and you keep those extra dollars and set them for a road project too, I mean, that's fine too. I mean, it's not like we're increasing the budget drastically. It's just, I was thinking, you know, if we could find a way to zero it out, that would be nice too. But I mean, I'm not opposed either way. I don't think the citizens are going to be angry with a pretty reasonable, you know, increase. I mean, it's 3% or 3.8% over year on operating really isn't that out of line.
Since the social service funding got taken over by the state, budgeting here for the county has gotten considerably easier. When you're sitting on this side of the table, I know that.
Well, we used to be at about 130 plus mils probably, and now we're at 90, and it seems like that's kind of our new norm. We kind of hang in that area, which is nice.
I guess maybe I could mention this, in 2025, I don't know how many of us are gonna be here then, but we can only have, there's legislation out there that will only allow us to have 10 mills for road projects. without going to a vote of the public. And that's gonna be statewide, so there'll be enough money, unless there's, you know, other monies coming in somewhere that I'm not aware of, that we don't even know about yet. So just a heads up there, 2025, we can only have 10 mills according to legislation.
What do we have now, 20, correct?
Pretty close.
Just coming down, gonna be a vote of the people? No.
If we want to go,
Legislators,
the legislators already set that policy,
they said it.
like a couple years ago. So if we want to go above 10, then we have to go to a vote of the people.
They're basically telling us, keep our infrastructure in good shape and here's half the money.
Right. And that's 3 years out, but keep it in the back of your mind.
Town County is worried about that, and they are, their auditors, trying to get the home rule charter passed, or, you know, run through there.
I know it's something they've talked about in the past multiple times that they're concerned about.
This is in their paper a week ago, weeks ago.
So in the way the legislation is written, if people are trying to go to a vote to get their mills increased this year, in 2025, that all goes away. It doesn't matter if you set it up for 10 years, 20 years on your vote this year, it still goes away. So they're predicting that in the election time of 2024, there's going to be a mass push of everybody to get the mills voted on. So that's another issue that's going to be to keep in the back of your mind, that if we want to increase our mills past 10, we should be doing it in the election of 2024.
That or we should talk to our legislators now and get them to change the on bill.
That's where it should really go down.
I would guess they're seeing a roadblock and trying to do that with small counties, less population, but there's a lot of votes, push that through the legislature. Session. That would be my guess.
Yeah. Never hurt to talk to our legislators about it, just get their ear there and tell them, you know, obviously we're trying our best to, you know, to keep our infrastructure as good as we can, and we rely a lot on state dollars, so without having those local dollars, and if the state dollars dry up, how are we gonna keep our road system in decent shape? I mean, it's gonna be drastically more difficult than it is now. And we're progressive here in this county, we try, you know, we don't drag our feet, we make sure things get taken care of, but I mean, I think we have a pretty good road system overall. We need the dollars to do it, there's just no other way around it. That's usually one thing people don't have a problem with. You know? You can say, hey, we're gonna get better roads with this money.
Yeah.
People don't, I've never heard anyone complain that we're spending too much money on roads.
They're receptive to that.
Yes. Most people I talk to think we should spend more money on roads. It's not a problem. Anyway, back to the numbers at hand here, I guess. What are the wishes of the commission as a whole, I guess?
As a safety net, I'd just like to see it stay the same.
What did you say, Candy?
As a safety net, because you don't know what you're gonna get in for taxes
Correct.
next year. I mean,
And another safety net is, do we know how much CARES money is gonna come again, whether any comes at all?
yeah,
You know, to cover some of this cost of,
I mean, every email, every opportunity, I mean, we're spot on to submit what's needed to get money, so.
oh, we gotta go back to the drawing board and redo it here a little bit, or what?
No, I'm fine. We could simply just
We're all
say,
right?
yeah, we could simply just say what the proposed budget is. I mean, like I said, I don't think an unreasonable increase of 3.8 is bad. I was just hoping we could maybe pass some of it back, but I mean, if it's something where we think it's beneficial for us to keep some of those dollars back so we can do stuff like siren and maybe sit on it just in case we want to do some road work or something like that. I personally, I have no problem with that. I don't think we have any problem justifying what our budget, what kind of shape our budget is in right now. Compared to the fact that we, like you said, years ago, we used to be 30% higher than us locally. I mean, it's not a bad budget. I mean, it's in pretty good shape. On top of the fact, I think people have to have a recognition of the fact that on a $10.8 million budget, only 5.7 of that is coming locally. So that means, you know, about 50% of our budget comes from outside places, federal dollars, state dollars. So people need to recognize that too, that, you know, a lot of that is, it's outside money. Okay.
Leave it the way it is.
Thoughts?
The way it is.
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it. We have a motion and a second then to approve the budget as presented, staying with the preliminary budget with no changes. Okay, further discussion on that motion.
That's all right, Candy?
Okay. Further discussion on the motion, questions, comments? Okay, hearing none. Roll call please on the budget.
Brett,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Lightcon.
Aye, motion carries. The budget is approved for 2021. And as always, thank you to all the department heads and everything that's gone into all the time and putting the budget together, because it's always a lot of work, so it's a big thank you from that perspective. Okay, let me see where we're at here.
So we can assume that the raises, when we do our evaluations on our workers now, we can assume the raises.
Yep,
Okay, perfect.
it's in the budget with the step changes and the.
To add to that, I did some work on applying for a grant for election for this year to get some money back. It took, 20 minutes at the most to submit all the information. And I got an award letter today of $6,212.50.
Thank you for your hard work.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you.
So,
Good job.
Good deal. We can pay for some stuff, for some people, pay for the whole.
yeah, pay for all my stuff I bought. Yeah,
Hey, we'll take it. Grant money's good money.
yeah. I just have to do the follow-up signing of the papers and submitting and.
Good deal. Okay. Guess we're back up to, down to, excuse me, unfinished business. COVID-19 discussion. I guess I'll start and state where we're at here. In talking with department heads, not every department head, but quite a few of them over the last week or so now, it's been probably. The recommendation was at least of what I heard from pretty much most of the department heads, was that we should go back to by appointment only. Still remain regular courthouse functions, but try to limit traffic in the building. We've had positive cases in the building. We've had some staff quarantining. We've had a lot of different things going on. We've also know that with fall season, we tend to have an uptick of people coming in and out of the building. In an attempt to try to keep staff as healthy as possible, as well as the general public that has to come into the building. The thought was, and the recommendation was made to me in talking with multiple department heads, that we should go back to by appointment only. But continue to, function as we're doing. People can still work out of the building. We can still obviously say if people have to go into quarantine, we'll have the telework options that we have currently. Nothing will change that way. We've already done by appointment only in the past, so it's not really anything that's going to be a huge change. And visiting with Candy about it, election-wise, it really won't make any difference, because if people want to vote, they can talk to the auditor, come in and vote. The drop box will just move from inside the entryway to just the breezeway where we have the phone in the past.
People can drop our ballots off just as normally.
Extended hours.
Extended hours will stay the same, where the office will still allow for early vote. It'll just be a little bit more making sure that we're limiting intake of people, so it's not just people wandering the building, basically. To try to keep everybody as healthy as possible. That was the recommendation, doesn't mean we have to take it, but that would be my inkling, my thought that's what we should do. Multiple counties in the past month have gone back that way with the uptick in numbers in their regions. I know Emmons County, I believe, has Logan, I think, if I remember correctly, Pembina, Benson County, Nelson County now have gone to by appointment only or close the courts down. So we would be in kind of a similar situation. Every other policy that we've set up to this point would remain the same. Oh, Al's got a point here.
Yeah, I see other problems in that, and there would be one problem for public health, in that it's flu shot season.
Yes.
Okay, so we would need like the armory or something, because people come for flu shot. I mean, by appointment, we can handle that, right, and have them come up and down, by appointment. But the days, especially when school's not on, we get all those people coming at once, they don't need appointments, and it is already on the schedule.
Yep.
That's why I'm bringing it up. If we could possibly move it to the armory and leave that open so they can come at any time, that we would get that advertising out, that would get us maybe around that a little bit. I don't know. That's the only concern we have for.
And I apologize, I was kind of getting to that too. The thought process too was we would leave the memorial building as is, simply because there are events scheduled. We're still following that smart restart guideline where it's a reduced number of individuals allowed in the building for any kind of activity. Plus, we could do shots, things like that. You could utilize the armory, things like that. That way we would have a facility still open, but then, because pretty much everybody that's a county employee works inside the actual courthouse structure and not the armory portion. So we can leave that open so we can still have public access to do flu shots and things of that nature. And anything else that, if we needed to do, we could still utilize that facility portion of it.
That sounds good. We did, just for your information, Levers gave us access to Levers South.
I saw that.
For doing COVID testing and possibly COVID vaccination whenever that comes. We'll see, that's kind of down the road a ways yet, but they're forcing us into making these plans and having these areas set aside so that we can do it. Maybe at that point, once we find out approximate date, we would love to visit with the county commission again on a memorial building. It is in all of our emergency plans, and it works quite well for vaccination. So just a heads up there.
Hey, Crystal, anything to add? I know we've talked in the past about, that was kind of the recommendation you've been hearing from the different department heads as well.
It is, yeah. What are some concerns that I've had, when I reach out to a commissioner to look over their portfolio, just to understand that we as an employer have an obligation to our employees to make sure that we're providing a safe workspace. And if we are found negligent in that, you could fall into a lot of issues with that. There's a lot of different employment lawsuits out there right now currently. If employees come into work sick, employer knowing of it, not isolating the sick employee, letting them come into the workplace. So there's just different areas like that we could be really careful with to make sure that once we're notified of it, that we're taking care of that. So I know it's not fun, but it's something to do right now.
Yeah, and I guess I'm of the thought that anything we can do to decrease contact points at this point when we have an uptick is a positive, because anything we can do to make sure we slow down the spread, we stop the overrun of the hospital system, we allow businesses to continue to operate, which is a good thing, and we allow our kids to continue to go to school, which is a great thing. So anything we can do to try to just slow the thing down is, just to make sure we can kind of continue to live life in a halfway decent manner. And to me, that means keeping our employees safe and decreasing contact points is a good thing, at least in my mind. But everybody as the commission as a whole has thinks differently, and that's a good thing. But thoughts, comments, opinions on going back to by appointment only, I guess.
Third floor, where are they at?
I talked with Judge Cody. He said that they would have absolutely no problem going back to by appointment only. They have a jury trial scheduled for the 22nd of October, I believe. So he said that will give them some time to figure out how to handle a by appointment situation. But he said basically what they would do is they would probably just have to have a few more bailiffs to get people from the doors up to or to the jury room, whatever they're doing. And I think they're using the armory, if I'm correct. But he said for them, functionally, it would work just fine. They're already dealing with it in Pembina County, Rolette County, multiple counties. So he said it's just something that they would work with. So it wouldn't be a big deal for them.
So just so I'm clear, that means we lock the doors again?
Yes. Yeah. It would be doors locked, same thing. We'd have the phone call in and by appointment only. We still have the drop boxes, obviously, for all the social services paperwork. And this is the season where they're going through LIHEAP stuff, so heating assistance program, which generally brings a lot of people into the building. So that would decrease contacts, which would be a good thing. They could still do all their work over the phone. We would do everything electronically as we could do. Just try to keep everybody as healthy as we can. I think I foresee one of the problems, at least in my mind, in visiting with people, is the discernment of we're into it now, flu season. So knowing the difference between a sore throat from the flu or from just regular nasal drainage from COVID is going to be impossible. So, just continuing to tell our employees, hey, if you don't feel well, stay home. It's okay. We got your back. Let's try to keep everybody as healthy as we can, because the worst thing that we can have is somebody come into the building not feeling well and then spreading it. And regardless if it's the flu or anything else, nobody wants to be sick. So everybody just needs to take care of one another, and I think we'll get through it okay. It's just a matter of let's try to keep everybody as healthy as we can, safe as we can.
Where did you say the absentee ballot drop boxes are?
It's right outside our office door right now.
Currently it is. Yeah. I would just go to the middle breezeway where we have the.
So you could get to it without having to call somebody.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's, we had talked about making the call on this last week, but we figured by the time we got everything kind of figured out, it was best to talk about it at the commission meeting instead. And it gave time for Candy and everybody else to kind of think about how it would change their functionality. It gave me time to talk with Judge Cody and everybody else that would be affected, I guess. Other than I didn't talk to Al, I guess, so I apologize for that. But I did think that, obviously flu vaccines are happening, so how can we functionally make that work? Not from the commission, I guess.
The election will be all right.
We'll just go back to how it was for the June election.
Yeah, that was my first concern as well, is how is this going to affect the election?
Memorial Building, we just open as usual and for that day.
Yep.
I'm sure they'll get a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, any other comments, questions?
And too, like we kind of talked about with the extended hours, like for Roger to leave that handicap door open in the breezeway for those hours for people to drop their ballots off.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll just lock them.
Yeah. Put something on the radio and make it so you know what we're doing.
Yep.
Memorial Building will be open as usual.
Yeah.
I'll make sure if we do make this decision, I'll talk with, copy time on it and everything, and we'll put out advertisements, we'll make sure we blast it out. You know exactly how the election's going to be working. I think I saw last week we had 3,100 absentee ballots go out, something like that.
Probably like close to 34 now.
Oh, it's gone off good. That's a good thing.
And how many total people voted last night?
5,000.
That's good though, it means we're getting people to vote that way and they can come drop the ballot off and then we can, less people through the building on election day, means less contacts is a good thing too, as long as we can just make sure everybody has that opportunity to vote.
We've probably gotten like 200 plus back already.
Okay, further questions or discussion? Okay, if not, I guess I would entertain a motion to move as such.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Further discussion on the motion to move county facilities back to by appointment only and having the doors locked to increase contact. Effective tomorrow morning probably, is that okay? Or do you want to do immediately?
I don't know that.
Better get to know it, son.
Yeah. We could even Thursday, just to give us time to get signs hung up on the doors and.
That's fine. I mean, whatever works. I mean, effective as quickly as we can get stuff put together.
We're gonna restrict any, building access for meetings or things like that, or meetings as scheduled kind of thing?
I think at this point, I mean, meetings as scheduled will go on. It's just a matter of you'll have to have somebody that'll let people in. But again, still trying to, we'll still do commission meetings the same way we've been doing them. We don't have a whole lot of outside meetings going on right now, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. We'll deal with it as it comes, I guess.
Thursdays.
Okay, effective, we'll say Thursday morning, that gives us tomorrow to get the word out then. Okay. Today and tomorrow. Okay, very good. Okay, further questions or discussion on the motion? Okay. Hearing none. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Both same side. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Okay, nuisance property issue. Carrie didn't make any mention of it to me yesterday when I visited with her. I think she's still working with the city attorney on it. So we'll just, we need a table. We'll just roll by it until next meeting. Okay, from there, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else COVID related, but I don't think there is. Pretty much handled it there. Okay, we'll go down to the additions to the agenda then under new business, the NDCCA resolutions.
Yeah, these out, we had our caucus meeting last week. There was no changes to the proposed 2020 resolutions that were proposed. They had the transportation funding, legacy fund proposal, prison population management, jail standards, water management and transportation infrastructure was one. And federal permitting of road projects, wetland mitigation, county road levies. So there was no action taken on any of those, no changes through our Region 3 caucus anyway. Not sure about any of the other caucuses, but that will be decided at the annual meeting on the 12th, I believe, is when that's done. And then the other thing that I added to the agenda was the Water Stewardship Award nomination that the joint board does. Send these out to all our county commissions within the basin, as well as soil conservation districts, water resource boards, economic development. Susie will get one of these, and Paula. Susie, the group that she's involved with won last year. The Devil's Lake Access Committee won. The award last year was nominated and was selected as winner. And you can see on that letter that many well-worthy representation of individuals and projects over the years since 2002. That award has been given out. Would be a little different. Our annual conference is going to be virtual this year, and I think the award will be handed out Thursday. I think it's the 10th of December at 3:30 is when they're gonna do their awards virtually. So be a little different, but we're still seeking nominations nonetheless. And if it be a person, a group, or a project that has done a project or has contributed to the basin in any way, nominations are due the 1st of November or 2nd of November, I think it is. The 2nd is the first Monday of November, so.
Yeah. Well, we got some time to think about it before our next meeting. Come up with a
Right.
name.
Yep, come up with a name or a group or a project, that'd be great. Always tough to come up with something, but there's several worthwhile individuals or projects out there that would certainly qualify.
Okay, very good. Okay, visitors and delegation. Nothing? Crickets?
Paula, did you want to talk about your annual meeting coming up?
Yes, I do. Are we under your portfolio then, Seth?
Sure.
Okay.
We can do that, can we, Adam?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Under portfolios?
Yes, I'm sorry. Danny was showing me something, but she needs to update us on too, but we'll go to you first. Paula.
Okay.
Thank you.
So just wanted to let you all know, inviting all of you as well to our annual meeting. October 21st, we have a little differently this year, obviously, as well. We usually hold it at the college at noon, but they will not allow anybody in there, and they're not serving lunches or anything. So we're doing it October 21st at 3:30 at the Elks. We're just going to be doing appetizers and beverages if you want. Our speakers are going to be Bryce Crosby. Did I say that right? Blake Crosby, excuse me, from the League of Cities, the mayor, and Kim and Ryan Eastrom from Kojak. So, yeah, we'll go over the things that we've done throughout the year. Do the chamber member of the year, and the change over of our officers and our board members and so forth. So come on out and join us on October 21st. Some of the other things going on that I just wanted to bring up as well. The holiday showcase, I know we did call, I think we talked to Nathan in your office, and I know we still have it scheduled. It is November 16th, and I believe he stated that that was still fine to go ahead if we were doing some checking with the businesses throughout Devil's Lake to see if it was something that they were interested in, do a survey. And, at this point, it looked as though we were going to move ahead with it. But we just heard you say, Adam, and that you said that would stay open, but are we limited with numbers?
Well, we're following the smart restart guidelines from the governor, under what level we're at. So we're at 75% capacity currently, and if we go from green to yellow, then it would drop down to 50%. So we are following those guidelines. That's what our plan states. Yes.
Okay. What is it what's your?
What is the capacity? Good question. The fire department had given us a capacity number. We'd have to go look.
Okay. Yeah,
I can see it was like 325.
I was gonna say 300, but
Yeah.
okay, well, I don't anticipate that, we've had 300 people come through it before, but I don't think this year we would get to that level, but yeah.
But that's full capacity.
Yes, and so you're looking, now you're at
75%.
I think we've been telling like wedding parties, it was like 200, between 200 and 225.
Okay. All right, and should it go, should that level change, you said?
Yeah, that all depends on where the governor puts out, because they're doing county by county levels now. So right now, we're still currently staying at, I think it's green, I don't remember.
Yeah, we're green right now.
But if we move us to yellow, then I believe the smart restart then states that we go to 50% capacity on large gatherings.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on it.
We check it every week.
Okay,
And he hasn't made a change yet, so we'll see what happens.
all right, yeah.
Before we
pass through there.
Right, yes, they're going.
Yeah, you just have to have somebody watch the door and keep a head count.
Yep,
basically.
we will be doing that, and we haven't made the definite decision yet at this point, but we'll be doing those. Okay, thank you.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I guess that was kind of going into portfolios. Do you have anything else, Jeff, since we kind of started over here?
Well, certainly the airport continues to move through our COVID phases, and airport numbers boarding numbers are down, obviously. I think we're at 40% of what we were a year ago in October or September, I guess the numbers were most recently. The good news is the airport's going to stand to get some of that COVID relief money. And we'll make really good use of that. And KLJ is the engineers on that, working through some of the projects that we have coming up for that. And over the next 3-4 years, we'll get some nice enhancements to our runway without a lot of local costs incorporated. So hopefully that all works out and comes to fruition. But yeah.
Okay.
LEC, unfortunately, that's one of the businesses that is booming right now. We're full. We're right at capacity. Everything else seems to be running fairly smooth out there. They've had a few cases of COVID in and out, but they're managing it very well. Sheriff's Department, everything's pretty good there too. They're just influx of out-of-state hunters are, on their radar now. So some traffic issues out in the country, park on roads and block farmers' fields, and et cetera, et cetera. Other than that, it's pretty quiet.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we had our annual inspection out of the jail, went very well. Went through the 108 jail standards. Quite a process, I thought. Going well, everything seemed to be done. Werlinger and Anderson up again, hey guys. Pretty well, told the service, but I didn't make it a lot of me, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess social services, pretty much same old, same old. Got an update on operations. We're kind of short-staffed right now. Turnover as always, plus quarantining issues, things like that. There's been some issues with still same problems with indirect costs, things like that. I'm still trying to keep the other counties, just telling me, don't worry, we're gonna get this figured out.
It's gonna go on the rest of this year.
Yeah, we're gonna get this figured out, don't worry about it. We'll find a way to help out if we have to. But overall, everything's running fairly well. The one thing that they did have, foster care number increase, things like that, but otherwise, things are running smoothly, other than they just need to get some people hired, just because it's, it's like the normal in and out when you've got, can't remember how many people we're up to staff-wise now. Got to be close to probably 75 plus, I would guess. So when you have 75 employees, you're always gonna have one leaving, coming back and forth, something like that. I think it's something like that. It's a lot. I have a county housing authority meeting on Thursday, so I don't have anything to add to that. Our Fort Devils Lake meeting was canceled due to Brad had to travel someplace. So we'll have our first meeting in the month, second meeting in the month in October then, so it'll be our next meeting. Portfolio wise, nothing too crazy going on. Normal operations, I guess, good stuff. Candy, anything you have to add, you said?
I got an email from Rob at the jail about CARES Act reimbursement from the DOCR. We will be getting a credit on our bill for roughly 711 days of housing, which equals out to be $56,000.
They're gonna pay us for housing
Yeah.
Prisoners that shouldn't be in a pen, state pen, and
Yeah.
are still in lots.
And if
So
you-
this is state prisoners that we're housing that they wouldn't take. Yeah,
They didn't have room, wouldn't take them.
well, I think
So I was
that's,
like, okay,
that's the precedent going forward, that they should do that regardless. Maybe we
Yeah,
should
I-
put that in the budget.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
So maybe we should talk to our legislators about that, because that's one thing we should, obviously should be working with. But that's, so we can turn around and then we can pay for the siren program then. What a deal. Money just rolling in
They
everywhere.
should bring that up, Candy.
Yeah, I just looked at my emails,
Good deal.
so.
Okay, very good. I guess other than that, I don't think I have anything else. Nothing I can think of at this point. There's an announcement on at the bottom. Aquatic nuisance species wash stations, they're gonna have a meeting on the 14th at 10 to 12 here in the basement meeting room.
That's the joint.
The Sport Fishing Congress. So that's the joint meeting between, who is this now?
Would it be Benson and Nelson and us?
Oh, so this is what we need to come to. This isn't just an announcement. This is, we're supposed to be here too. Yeah. So is,
I think it was, did he say something about 2 representatives from each county?
So, something like that, so we should probably either
Or should
appoint
we-
somebody to that, task force or.
Okay.
Um,
So is Game and Fish coming to this meeting as well, or?
I was just gonna ask that question.
I don't know if they are or not,
Till they start leading this project, I think we just stand on the sideline.
they were up, what, a week ago, Mark?
Yeah, but they didn't have any answers.
That was kind of the inkling, I
Yeah.
hope that.
And I know, Sports Fishing Congress at Rich is the president of, meets, I think, in Bismarck Saturday. And I know Game and Fish is supposed to, scheduled to, give an update at their conference, this weekend. But, I don't know if, Game and Fish is coming back up on the 14th, or Susie, you haven't heard? Susie had him, invited him up to, Lake Access Committee, and both Mark and I were there, as well as Susie, and, I don't know, they have a high pressure, high temperature decontamination unit that's designed for if aquatic nuisance is discovered on a watercraft, to use that unit, but nobody at the Devils Lake office is trained to use it. It has to be somebody that's certified to use that unit because of the high temperature and the high pressure that it uses, that reliability issues involved with that. And so somebody would have to come from Jamestown to use it. So what their also proposal was, those temporary or those mobile wash stations, and whether they be out at the rest area or somewhere, they're still looking for partnership and cooperation with some local entities, and I'm not sure exactly where that's gonna come. I think there's a philosophical differences between where they should be and where Game and Fish thinks they should be, kind of thing. But
Well, it's like, I think the thought process is, I don't think any of us are opposed to that, to the concept of this. It's just, they should have came to us with a definitive plan. This is what we want to do. This is where we want to put them. How do we get it done?
And they had no idea.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that we can't help them out, but it'd be better if they had some definitive, this is what we want to do, and this is how we want to do it, and this is, then that's kind of
The financial responsibility.
yeah, and who's gonna pay for what and that kind of thing too, because I don't think any of us are opposed to maybe helping out, but
I agree.
but we're not gonna take on the total cost of running something. We just can't. It's gotta be a partnership, so, I'm not opposed to continuing to listen, but we've gotta get some definitive answers if it's something we're gonna commit to.
Well, like Ed said, if the Game and Fish is in here, there's really nothing to listen to.
You're right.
To sit through another 2-hour meeting like that, that's just pointless. I hate to say that, but, and then you have the anglers on one side, and you have the sport fishing on the other, and there's no gelling at all, between any of them. So,
Well, I just haven't heard a lot of financial obligation coming from the state yet.
nothing, just,
And until I hear that, I'm not very interested. I mean, we're limited on where we can get financial help.
That was.
We have to go back to the property owners in our county.
And that
We're
was
not
one
picking
of
up
the-
those sales tax.
That was one of the reasons why that last legislative session, they passed some of that, that ANS sticker deal on watercraft coming in, was supposed to fund that. And that's kind of where this wash station concept came from, but there's not enough funding put forward from the state.
Tie no funding to it.
No.
The legislators did. Well, they better go back this winter and get the funding tied to it.
Yeah, the legislators did, increase or agree to that ANS, sticker for boat licensing every 3 years for North Dakota boats, every year for out-of-state boats coming in.
$3, is that what you said?
No, it's, what is it, $15, Susie?
$15
Yeah.
on your phone, and then it's $3, I think, for fishing.
Yeah, so.
How many registrations do they have?
Yeah.
1,000, 10,000? They're not getting that many boats registered.
Yeah, well, an out of state resident, you have to register every year, and then in state, it's every 3 years.
You gotta tie some funding to some of this stuff. I mean, counties can't afford it. Can't. You know, where we're, a road belt gonna go if we don't have state help, Kevin? You know, that for years. I just can't believe they come out here and try to get us to do this. I mean, it's just ludicrous. Like Mark said, it's a waste of time listening to their presentation. Yeah, it's a great idea, but bring us some money. You know, if you want this reality, if you want it done. I'm not interested in putting property taxes on it.
Well, if I could just say something, paying the bills for lake access for all of our fish feeding stations, the $5,000 they want to allocate for operating and maintenance and staffing, is $5,000, and I don't even think that'll cover the water bill, depending on the amount of usage that they're going to use. So it's a concern.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of our water donated, I believe, on Ramsey.
If we could get, you know, this wash station, they'd use that as much as they're using the fish cleaning station. That would be all right. Get some money behind it. The legislators gotta put some money behind this idea. I don't care who they tell that to. Counties can't afford this. Nelson can't, Benson can't, I know they can't. Ramsey can't. Got a hell of a job keeping all the things we got trying to go now. You know, that we're mandated to take care of law enforcement. Like we talked about social service funding, we got the state to take that over. You know? Get them in front of us.
Well, and my other issue with it is if, they're going to put it in, they're not going to require people to use it.
Right.
So then if we're not requiring them to use.
Makes sense to put them close to the fish cleaning stations, that would make sense to me. Hopefully they would use it then if they're not required to use it. I don't know. You need water, so. You're gonna have to have them manned, start hiring labor.
Well, that's the thing, who's, you know, we haven't really fleshed out who's in charge of hiring labor, who's getting these people certified. I mean, there's just so many questions that, I mean, and like I said, I'm not opposed to continuing to try to figure it out, but until we have some definitive answers.
Right.
We can sit and talk about it all day long. I mean, we have to have somebody with some definitive answers. So I'm not opposed to, I mean, I can go to this meeting if I have time, I'll try my best, just to go listen. But, I mean, until we get somebody that can state this is what's gonna happen. You know, I mean, I don't know what else we're gonna do. So do we want to appoint people, or do we just want to go if we can go?
I think go if you can go. I have a joint board meeting scheduled that morning. I'm not sure it will be done by 10. But it'd be close. So we're just reading across the hall.
I'll try to make, I'll try to listen.
I know that's an important topic for the joint board as well.
If I see that somebody from the Game and Fish or something is there maybe, but the Game and Fish didn't answer any of the questions when they were here. So, I mean, Susie's water bill, I asked them how many, you know, they have a truck with 2 tanks on it. I said, well, how many boats will that wash? They didn't know. So I guess, you know, if the Game and Fish or somebody's gonna be there, yes. If they're just gonna talk about the wash station again, I've heard it 3 times. You know, Susie's heard it 3 times. And they have no financial to it. Like Susie said, you can't pay the water bill with that.
What do you think, Susie? You tell us.
Regarding which aspect?
Are you gonna go to the meeting?
Oh, well, yeah, that's why I came today.
Well, you can tell us what you think about the
Yes, I would
project.
like to be at the meeting. I think ANS wash stations are a great thing. But
I agree with you.
I agree with Mark, there needs to be more, questions answered before anybody can get anything regarding those. I'm also a little bit worried that they aren't looking to entertain private partnerships. It seems to be all public partnerships. So that we can be a little limited there too. So, there needs to be a lot of answers.
I wasn't at the meeting, I haven't been to the conference I got to be at. It was my understanding that there was a private partner at the meeting that stood up to say that he would be, he would partner, and he has a car wash in town that he was willing to, so he would be the perfect partner to have in this instance. Is it correct? This, yeah. So, but they apparently, I don't know if it's a law, but was shot down in that regard. So to me, that seemed like a perfect opportunity to partner with somebody that drive your boat in, you've got the car wash, there's your water, but apparently that isn't.
Well, it seemed to me in that discussion, they don't want to be in the boat washing business for people just to clean their boats coming off the water, which, you know, they don't think that that's a proper way to spend taxpayer money. And I'm like.
But it's not the boats coming off the water, it's the boats coming into the water.
Well,
you know, the boats coming off the water, it's irrelevant at that point.
Well, at that point it is, but you don't know where that boat's been or where it's coming from is when they pull in and wash their boat or whatever. But to me, I think either way, it goes a long ways to preventing aquatic nuisance from being spread. You know, whether it's coming off our lake or coming into our lake, it's you know, a clean boat is, you know, a good thing. You know, if people are taking that initiative to do it. Yeah, I just.
Well, this week you got 10,000 duck boats floating around.
Well,
you know?
right, yeah.
Nobody's looking at those, you know.
And nobody, you don't want to clean one because that dirt kind of adds to the camouflage. But you know what that dirt contains or what that weed contains from another state or another part of our state is.
Well, that leads to one other set of questions too, then, I mean, so.
And they couldn't answer them.
So we're talking, it's October right now, the weather's not the best, people are still dropping boats.
Oh, yeah.
So are we talking an indoor facility, are we talking an outdoor facility, what are we talking here? I mean, because we could be talking some real money, and if there's no money behind it, you know? I mean, people drop their boats in Devil's Lake all the way up until there's ice forming on the thing.
Yeah.
So, and then they start dropping their boats in the minute ice starts coming off the lake. So we're talking March, we're talking April, we're talking October. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I don't think you're gonna find too many people to work for you when they sit outside when it's 37 degrees out cleaning boats for you. So I mean,
Right.
just a lot of questions to be asked. I'm still willing to listen, but somebody's gotta come to the table with some answers.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like you said, you're just having the same meeting over and over and over again, just talking about, well, this will be great, but nobody really has any answers. So, I'll try to make the meeting on 14th and I'll report back, I guess, if anything interesting.
Thank you.
Same meeting. Okay.
You probably don't want me there anyways.
One thing, that Bill forgot to mention, and whether or not but tomorrow morning at the, tiling test project east of Edmore, they're gonna be applying gypsum. And Nakeem Kalwar, soil specialist from NDSU Research in Langdon, will be up there and discussing what gypsum will do for that soil profile or what they're hoping to do. So I think at 9:30 tomorrow morning, if anybody's interested to hear what Naeem has to say about putting gypsum on a tile project and trying to get that sodic soils back to a producing a crop. And that was the whole reason behind that tiling project up there initially was to improve that drainage off that one little 5-acre piece of property and try to start growing some crops again. And because it was awful lot of alkali within that, so. But tomorrow morning, 9:30, east of Edmore at the Bridgie Farm, right along Highway 17. If anybody's interested to hear what Naeem has to say.
West.
East.
Yeah, west of it.
Yeah,
I'm
west.
sorry, west. Yeah. East of 20, west of Edmore.
Yep, south side of the road.
South side of the road. Yeah.
Okay, any further announcements? Okay, seeing none, we're adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Watch the opening ceremonies of the convention, highway department,